Remember back in the olden days of middle school, those more innocent days when things made sense and life was simple? Remember that girl who read the funny cat books? Warrior Cats is that funny cat book, and has been published by HarperCollins since 2003, all written by Aaron Hunter, a pseudonym for British Clamp. I always had the basic idea of the series, but nothing more outside of that. Imagine my surprise when someone showed me the Warrior Cats adventure game, released back in 2010 by Stan, an artist and author of a few different little games. Now, the important thing to note here is that this isn't a fan product. This was an official product launched and promoted by the Warrior Cats franchise during the middle of the Omen of Stars arc. So this isn't a game exactly aimed at hardened veterans. This is for kids and parents who bought a box set with the manual in it for free. 54 pages is all the game is, actually. But it's free and an ad, so forgive me for being a little lenient. What's the system to facilitate our cat ventures? Well, it's Fallout New Vegas skill checks. If that sounds a little bit odd, it's technically a diceless game. Most of the checks in the game ask you to do is just add together your cat attribute. I had to say it at least once, I'm very sorry. But you add together your attribute and your skill together to get your final value. If that value bypasses the number in the adventure, good job. If not, turn to page 3 and get fucked with your 99 speech shoved up your ass. We're going to need to make our brand new Warrior Cats OC, White Stripe. Our 3 attributes form the core of our character, pulling out a classic of needing to distribute 5 points among 3, but oopsie doopsie, it's actually 2 points due to being a 1 minimum. Not exactly an impressive number, but it will go up gradually. Now we'll need to pick out our skills, which there aren't many, but they are clearly stated to what they do and how they do it. And you get 3 at a resounding +1. Luckily, we can choose our clan to give ourselves some extra skill points. White Stripe is obviously part of Thunder Clan, so we get a bonus to our ponder skill. But here's something that's interesting maybe. Skills are less immediately obvious than most. Ponder, see, smell, climb, hiss, and so on. You may be tempted to think this is just skill bloat, but then you realize you're playing a goddamn cat. So yeah, having the hiss skill is something that a cat would have. Needing to have the focus and swatting skill to bash away enemies is just as much. One of those odd things that you can just kind of sit back and go, huh, neat, more than anything. But that's the actual character creation, except that you also have the actual end of character creation next chapter. Sorry, kitty pets, we're going to need to groom you into real warriors to be playable. You make an apprentice at first, and then you graduate, you get to increase your strength and one other attribute by 1, because you're a cat and you're getting older and bigger. We'll also end up getting our first few knacks, but to explain knacks, we need to talk about ability chips. In this Gamble Core RPG, every attribute has a set of chips tied to it, allowing us to increase our ability by +1 when spending it. If White Stripe has a natural climb of 4, he can spend a strength token to boost it up by +1. These only refresh when the adventure technically says you can, except in the in-book sample adventure for some reason, but the best practice is probably every few scenes or in a moment of respite. Knacks are a special way to spend those chips though. For example, the feint maneuver means we can convert our intelligence chips into helping us hit more reliably with our swats. There are more dramatic ones, such as launch, which requires a ton of strength chips, but allows you to Dante must die juggle the enemy. Of the 25 knacks in the game, most tend up to be conversions or bonuses to certain situations over straight up special powers. But then again, you're a cat. You're not going Maxwell Ultra Instinct. That's pretty much it though. Combat can be weirdly punishing due to the lack of the chaos factor, meaning that lucky breaks don't happen. Everything is simply a spiral of how you lost against a superior foe or improvised a solution at the 11th hour. Which summarizes a lot of the game actually. Do you have the right skills? Yes, cool, you win. If you don't, you fail and everything hates you. One of the first real encounters in the first sample adventures to save kittens actually has a fail condition to it. If no one has a 4 or higher in the focus skill, which is far from guaranteed right away for a starting character, you just fail the adventure entirely and Cat Christ insults you. Reading through the adventure, there are more of these, and peeking through some of the less well put together adventures, it's a reoccurring trend. It's a diceless game where you spend your good boy points to do things in a CYOA format. You do improve gradually by getting older, older, but I digress. This is a product to promote a book series in a box to encourage sales. A fun distraction for kids or for die-hard Warrior Cats fans. Nothing to really keep the attention though, but it is what it is. Is the franchise or others like it entirely worthless in this space? Of course not, but this isn't it. My name is Notepad, and this was the Warrior Cats adventure game. If you like what I do here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and many thanks to the Shadow Psychic Ghost Murder Cats, which are canon by the way, for continuing to fund my illegal ghost activities across the border. Why are there evil ghost cats?